put my glasses.
Look how you look pretty.
I like my glasses on.
I know, but they are prescription glasses, aren't they?
Yeah. Talk to me.
October Red here with Mr. 258, Mr. David Ghansa. We were at the press conference for Fraser Clark, Fabio Wardley versus Fraser Clark for this British Championship we've all been waiting for such a long time. But that's not the reason why you're here, is it?
No, I'm everywhere, but no, it's not the sole reason.
Talk to us about that fight. How do you see that fight going? Fraser Clark, I know, is someone that all of the team knows extremely well. He's going up against Fabio Wardley, part of Dillian White's team. You know where I'm going with this. How do you see it going? But this is you being objective.
Me being objective, I think I'm just going to sit on the fence with it. I don't like...
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to sit on the fence. I respect Fabio and his journey to where he is, and he's got some titles there that didn't come easy, so I'm going to give him the utmost respect for that. In regards to Fraser Clark, I think he's had a tremendous amateur career and he's managed to put his foot down in the pro game, and as you can see, he's here after only, eight fights. So, look, hats off to them for getting it on. Hats off to Fraser for taking it as early as he can. This is obviously the route that is there for him to become a British champion, and Fabio is not looking to give it up easy. So let's see.
It's an exciting fight, a fight that I'm looking forward to. We've got Ben Whittaker over there in the distance. He put on a show. He's what I will call a true showmanship. We were really entertained with his performance. He's received high criticism from the Brits, but he's received applause and accolades and appreciation from the fans in the US. Talk to us about that. You as his manager, how do you see that?
Management, I don't...
Management?
Yeah. I'd say it's what we expected. I feel like from the beginning of turning him over, we spoke about nights like this. We've planned to showcase him to the world. We tried to put things in place, especially stateside where we feel like you go where you're appreciated.
Absolutely.
So we've kind of always known that how the UK public is. They can tear you up, build you down. Build you up, tear you down, all of that. So he knows that his style's going to be disliked and liked and loved and hated, etc., etc. So I don't really feel like we're focusing on the criticism. We're just moving with his journey. It's always been something we know that people in the stateside they take to quite well. So you can see it now that they've seen it on last weekend.
We talk about moving him forward. It's about the future now. I get it. He's gone viral. They've done slow motion clips. They've done sound effects clips. He's had the full works. I will say he's a pay-per-view star in the making. Not just yet, but obviously we want to see titles and that. But I'm looking at him, if he carries on with the performances, if he's managed correctly, I can see him being a pay-per-view star of the future, definitely. And the near future too.
Yeah, look, I think, like I said, when he decided to link up and turn professional, this has always been on the card. Every conversation has been working towards taking him to those heights we believe, as well as he believes he can get to. So it's no surprise for us. I just say to the fans, sit back and enjoy the journey. You guys, sometimes we want things quite quickly, and you've got to be quite patient with it, but just enjoy it. That's what I'm saying. It's like he's still getting there. He's young. He's in his 20s. He's not at the end of his career. So let's just enjoy it. The titles will come, the big nights will come, the showmanship won't stop, and you're going to get to keep growing with him. But look, it's a perfect place in his career now where you can tap in. He's under 10 fights. You can be part of the journey from the start. Be like, yeah, I remember that fight. I remember that fight. I was there, and just enjoy it. That's all I'll say with him.
He's in an exciting division. The light heavyweight division is a tasty division. We can go back to the same card that night, and we can also touch on Khalil Cole that was fighting in America as well. We have a nice kind of selection of light heavyweights. I spoke to Joshua Buatsi before his fight with Dan Azeez, and I mentioned, because it was questions that some of the fans had asked me, like, does he regret moving? And part of the move was obviously leaving yourselves to obviously be self-managed, all the rest of it, whatever he's doing in regards to his management. I'm not going to touch on that here. But he was saying, no, he's kind of like happy with the move. He's happy where he is. when you sit there and you know that you had like Joshua Buatsi from the beginning, and you see his career and how it's gone now, when you watched that fight on the weekend, what did you see?
I watched it as a fan. I was there. I was impressed. I thought they both came and put on a hell of a show. So I was happy for them. I feel like boxing won that night. They both got paid. They both can go on and have a great career. And there's someone for Ben to fight, whether it's the winner or the loser as well. We got time.
There's some mention, I think Frank Warren has been on Sky Sports talking about a potential showdown after, obviously, Yard fights on the weekend, that there may be some suggestion that Buatsi and Yard can fight. Talk to us about that fight, because I've been a fan of Joshua Buatsi for a very long time. That was the fight that I always wanted to see, and that was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
We talk about timing in boxing. How do you see that?
Do you know what? I think it's one that needed
Right.
it needed the marination, and I think we've got that. I think they've both gone on two completely different routes in their career, and I really feel like now the paths are going to collide. So I think boxing's in a great place right now. I think if the British public demand it, they're going to get it, and I can't really see too much in the way of it. Obviously, there's an undisputed fight which no one can really tell what's going to happen. There might even be rematch clauses in there and whatnot. So from me and my opinion, the activity for them to get it on, I think the time is now. I think we've seen a lot of fights get past their expiration dates, and they're both in a great place in their career, so they could go and do it now, I'd say.
Who would you think would win?
Who would I think would win?
You've had the fence sitting for the first one, David. You got to...
You know what? When it's personal, I have to sit on the fence. So, like, I have to sit on the fence. I can't even... I get swayed every time they fight. So,
Okay.
So based on seeing JB on the weekend, I'll probably lean there. But Yard's out this weekend, though. Is it this weekend? Yeah. So let's get the weekend out of the way and let's have another look. But I'll always sit on the fence and I'll always be biased to what I'm close to. But it's just a great fight for the UK again.
Talking about great fights and great fighters, we know that 258 has recently acquired Viddal Riley, an exciting fighter, a cruiserweight, somebody that's kind of like gone under the radar, and people seem to refer to him as a YouTuber, even though he was a boxer first. He went over, blew up in America, he fought in America, set his YouTube channel, it set a fire, and now he's really knuckled down and taken his boxing career seriously. Talk to us about signing Viddal Riley first.
Like I said, you know what? I think I said it previously. I wasn't too hands-on in the bringing in of him, but I've been playing a good role in the management since. Like I said, I think Viddal's got an amazing team behind him that he brought and collided with our team, and I think it's working very well. He is phenomenal to work with. He's got great communication skills, the input that he's got on things, and how willing he is to do a lot of things is so refreshing to see. So it's a pleasure working with him, and I can't wait to see where we're going to take it. We're here today partly because of him as well. He should be announced on this undercard. Opponent to be confirmed. We're working on the opponent. We're not waiting on nobody. We know the routes that there are. We've got all the avenues covered. Like I said to you, as management, we contingency plan. We don't just sit around. So, yeah, there's some good options for him right now.
We talk about options, and one of them that's been having a bit of momentum on Twitter, or well, X, formerly known as Twitter, is Isaac Chamberlain's been going for him. Them pair have been going at it. But the fight that I always mentioned to Viddal Riley, and a fight that I always wanted to see him in, was Sheikh Clark. When we talk about working on opponents, could we safely say that those are the two opponents that we're working on, even though you can't give us a definite on who it is?
I would say that Viddal is currently the English champion.
Yeah.
The natural progression would be
British.
to fight for the British. That's what he wants. That's what his team want. And currently Isaac holds the British. So whether that's next or anytime soon, I don't know. Like I said, we're working on it. And there's so many options because Isaac's a professional as well. He's got his own journey. I don't know if he's banking on fighting Viddal, but he's also got a mandatory position with the EBU that he can fight for. So he's got his options. We've got ours. If he vacates and goes and fights for the English, for the European, then boy, it could be vacant, and that could be Viddal versus Sheikh, which is what you'd like to see. But look, Viddal's more focused on the belt. That's
Belts are not people.
yeah, and I think most fighters should be, because if you're going to be emotionally fixed to chasing down one man for your whole career, you kind of lose yourself in your own journey. So for Viddal, we're targeting progression, we're targeting the titles, and whoever's got them is in the way of his progress.
Talking about, chasing things that might not happen. I think the majority of us fell to the floor when we heard that the Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk match was off. That's how it started off initially. And then we saw His Excellency literally have them all sit down in a room like children, behave themselves, and then re-announce May the 18th. I love that, because it's kind of like, I think, and please, His Excellency, so you can comment on this, he's not really into messing around. He stated clearly there that I've missed a medical appointment. I've got illnesses that I'm dealing with, but I want to get this done. This is priority to me. And basically, if somebody messes up, somebody's paying 10 million. And guess what? It's out of their pocket and not mine.
Yeah, you know what? From our dealings with them, I can definitely say they're men of their word.
Okay.
And they don't wait for no man. So yeah, I believe what they say, and especially when they get on camera and put together situations which I don't know who could put together a face-off with them both. So he's done it, and I believe it will happen when he says it will happen. And if it doesn't, he's also spoke about what his contingency plans are. So let's see.
Talk to me about your friend, somebody that you've known from the beginning. 258 itself, the patriarch of 258, Anthony Joshua, as he's getting ready, he's preparing in camp to take on Francis Ngannou. Friday, March the 8th, a date that we are now looking forward to, that one more than the one that was supposed to be before that. Talk to us about AJ's camp and how he's getting on.
Yeah, you know what, it's going great. I spent the beginning of this week down there. I watched some sparring, went over a few bits with him and Ben on the other side of stuff. So, I can't complain. I guess he's just been a consistent professional, which is what I say, that he's just doing what he's meant to be doing and locking himself away and just putting in the discipline and the sacrifice needed to get to that fight date. So I guess that's all we can do, is just keep counting down the days until we fly out there, and the next minute, they're in the ring facing off Trading Level.
A consummate professional, something that you've just mentioned. He's now training with Ben Davison. Could we safely say that the relationship with him and having Derek James as a trainer, that chapter is closed, and he's happy and he's staying where he is under the tutelage of Ben Davison in the UK?
Yeah, I'd say with how things are going and the quick turnarounds that we've had since His Excellency has stamped his foot on the heavyweight division, I can't see us flying back to Dallas anytime soon. I think it's working. There's no need to change anything that's broke, and it's literally just, I think he had like a week, maybe 10 days out, and then he was back in camp. So there hasn't been any opportunities to change anything, and I don't think anyone really wants to right now. So we'll just leave it at that.
One of the things that Anthony Joshua has mentioned is that Ben Davison lets him be himself, works with his attributes so we can get the best out of him. Anthony Joshua, known as a heavy counter puncher, somebody that throws those multiple shots, doesn't necessarily get you with that one shot, but he gets you with 4, 5, 6 of them. And he's said it's kind of like Ben Davison's tapped back into that. But me being a devil's advocate, us fans have been screaming out for this old AJ for such a long time. Why did it take this progression he's gone through, this journey he's gone through with trainers, for him to say, actually, when the penny drops with him? Yeah. Talk to us about that. You know him better than anybody else.
You know what? Although I can say I know him better than most, I don't know. I can't even comment on it. I just feel like it's nice to see the strengths being strengthened. and not trying to focus on strengthening weaknesses and things like that. So I feel like we're just back to what we know, and that's pretty much it. Like previously, you join a new outfit, you kind of adapt to their style of things and try and whatever's been working for them previously, you might tap into that. But right now, it's just back on what we know from him. So it's just nice to see again for me personally. But I'm not blaming anyone. I'm not saying it's anyone's fault. It's just good to see what I'm seeing in the gym.
258, the progression of your team, the progression of signing fighters. One of the things that I will say that maybe has gone unnoticed is that you're a management team that's working with all top 4 promoters. You've got Sophie Alsh with Wasserman. Obviously, you know, you've got you guys with Boxer, Ben Whittaker. You've got Shannon Ryan, etc. with Matchroom. And I think you've signed a new one that's just turned over. Tell us a little bit about this new amateur that you've just... Yeah, and he's with Queensbury.
Yeah, Owen's with Queensbury.
That's it, Owen.
We'll see him out before the first quarter of the year. That's our aim with all our fighters, to get them out as quick as we can at the start of the years and stay active. So he'll be out soon. We're working on a date. We should have one this week. And yeah, he's phenomenal. He's from Ireland, but he's so dedicated. He flies in and out of the country. He's down with Proller and the guys there. And honestly, all the feedback I hear about him, everyone who knows him from the amateur scene has just been saying, wow, wow, wow. So I can't wait to get behind him properly and put the team to work for him. But it's another one where we're just going to have to enjoy the journey. He's young, he's fresh, he wants it, he's willing to work, and it's great to see. I'll also let you know we're going to have another signing announced very shortly. One that's not going to be... It shouldn't really be a surprise when we do announce it, but you can see the angles that we work at with the talent that we choose. So we should have another signing announced pretty soon.
Interesting times. Listen, David, it's always a pleasure. Thanks for spending some time on October Red today.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
He's not really shy. He just pretends that he is.
People say I'm toxic, and honestly, I don't care.